Okay. Ha, that's funny. Let's see if this thing's working. Hey guys. Oh, I should mute my audio. There we go. Oh, it looks like it is working. Let me show you what I've been working on. So first, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Tom. You guys have heard me on the Desktop Tuesday videos if you're new. Otherwise, you guys have seen me before a lot. Hi again. As you can tell, I have a case of the sniffles, but that's okay. I figured I'd be resting at home where I could just rest in this chair while doing a little work in the game, which is what I'm going to do. So please excuse the coughing, but look, I've got coffee. I've got cough drops. I've got everything I need. I'm sort of holed up in the corner of the office, or I could just stream away for a while. Can you guys hear me? Please tell me you can hear me and I didn't screw anything up. What's up, chat? How are we doing? I'm trying out a new mic on stream for the first time. It's like an actual podcasting mic and not just horrible headsets. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So I figured I'd start out working on a new character class, which is good. Now that we will soon have mining in the game. Here he is. He's the mason. We need stuff. You'll get stone from mining by digging in the earth, which means we can add a new character class to use that stone. It's the mason. And you can see he's kind of glitchy. Like, here, let me show you. Well, like, he has no arms. He has these here. Let me pause. I'm showing you all the flaws, which you probably wouldn't notice if I didn't show you. But his arms are missing. I want him to have these sort of armbands, and then his arms should be like in the armband. It's a bug that we'll fix. I don't know why I showed that to you. Well, I'll show you his outfit. Let's see. Let's do this. Put this in here. Where is he? Oh yeah, jobs. Miss him. Right. So he's modeled to have these sort of tough wristbands. And the bug is that that wristband is replacing the body part instead of sort of overlaying on top. So imagine he had arms. Anyway, so what I've got so far is he has his own little workshop, and this is, of course, in development. That's kind of the point of the game dev screen, so please excuse any bugs you see. So there's his workshop, and it's got its own skin. This is supposed to look like stone. It's very much work in progress, and right now he only has one recipe, which is a stack of bricks, which it should work. Does it work? No, because it's unlocked to level 2, and we have no way to level them. Yes, I have a mechanical keyboard, Matman. It is a DAS keyboard. This is the quiet version, if you can believe it. Yeah. So, let's get to his workshop. I'm not really happy with it. I think it's too blue. So, pop up and go to his workbench. Take a look at that. It's really blue. And I wanted something that was kind of a different color palette from the sort of dark brown and green that we have. But I don't know if this is it. I think it's maybe the... let's try switching it up a lot. Let's go with... Let's just try stuff and see what works. It's too light. Yeah, that's probably better. I like that better already. Easy stuff. Come back here, test it again. I don't have a palette, Geister. I had one and then I accidentally deleted it. So now I pull colors mainly kind of from memory and feel. Having a palette would be really useful. When I get some time, I'll probably make another one. That's not horrible. It's not bad. Alright, let's make some recipes. The standard stuff we could do is stone, tables, and chairs. If we get bored doing that, we'll do some other stuff. Actually, I'm bored with that already. I'm done doing tables and chairs. I'll do that like when I really need to zone out one time. I want to do something entirely different, which is set pieces. Let's make something new. Don't say that. Something's up with my keyboard. It's not rotating. That's too bad. Man, let's try quitting cubicle and starting it again. Okay, keyboard seems to be working. Maybe it's because I had caps locks now. There we go. Alright, bring it back. Bring it back. Alright. So one thing which has been kind of missing from the game are like interesting set pieces. Just to like give the world like some kind of sense of history or a place of being or something. So I'm just going to play around with kind of like old stuff, ruins, temples, tablets, stuff like that. Wow, I should not have flood filled that. That's like 1600 voxels I just tried to flood fill. Leonard. Oh man. Yeah, I killed it. Let's try again. Multiplayer will come after we have the single player in really good shape. So you could probably expect it, I don't know, second half of roughly, very roughly, second half of 2015 or something like that. Nope, that's too big. I tried to didn't work. Let's try something smaller. Okay, so I want to go for like just something off the top, some kind of stone tablet. That's better. Okay. Alright, and the idea is that we're going to make kind of like a temple, or pieces of a ruined temple. Oh man. Let me do what I don't normally. Whatever. Let's just go for it. So I could go into like 2D mode and flood fill that, but it takes me just as long to do that, so we'll do it this way. The only reason I made that red is so I could delete it. Here, let's do this. Copy, delete, paste, push it in one. Now flood fill it with a slightly darker color. Well, in fairness to Cubicle, I did ask it to flood fill like thousands of voxels. I don't know if that's a lot. Sounds like a lot. Yeah, I crushed it. Okay, knock off some corners, age that a little bit. The idea is that this is some kind of like tablet thing. Here, let's just get our rules right. So this is the writing on the tablet. Okay, and that's super, super boring. So first it's a little dark. Oops. Better. Alright, now let's try to make this look a little bit runic. This is so random. The idea, of course, being that this is like some kind of ancient text. Cool, not bad. Alright, I'm not sure. I made another thing that's brown. Let's go for... Just try another version that's not brown. Excuse me. And the idea is that this is stuff that you'll just like run into. It'll just be there in the world. Some of it will do stuff. Mysterious stuff. Most of it will not. They're just like ancient ruins that you can harvest for... Ooh, I'm going to try to play a trick. Let's go into 2D mode. I don't want to flood fill all those little things. It's really annoying. So what I'm going to do is this. Here. Take the whole interior of this. Because remember, it's a 3D structure. And fill that with that color. So now that is adjacent to these, which means... Here. Yep. Wow, really? This is not turning out as I'd hoped. Okay, so now I have to... I'm trying to like make a channel whereby I can flood fill all of the text at once. Let's see if I got it right. If I got it right, I did. Ha ha ha. I'm so clever. Okay. And I'll clean that up later. Okay. That's not bad. I like this color scheme. Kind of reminds me of like a Greek ruin. This is neat too, but there's just too much brown in the game, so go away. Pro streaming? What do you mean? Oh yeah, this could be like a dungeon dressing. I was actually thinking overworld, not dungeon right now. But same difference. The idea is that this is a... I'll just jam on this for a couple of hours even. Set pieces to decorate the world. So that... What? Oh, I think I have a selection. That's why it's not working. Yeah. So we're not just looking at trees and bushes. And then one thing I like to do is just take a lighter color on all of the edges. Kind of makes it look a little bit warm. Something like that. Sweet. Hi, from Russia. Wow. What time is it in Russia? It must be early evening? Late evening? Anyway, hi. Okay, so that's cool. So this is like, this is a beginning. It's not the end. It's just a thing that we can hook onto. And now we're going to make a lot of stuff like it. We're just going to make like tons of stuff that all thematically goes together. 10 by 10 by 10 is sort of our standard size of elements in the game. It's a good place to start. It's sort of the right voxel density. Let's go for... I'm going for like kind of a cup. Why? Because I felt like making a cup. A chalice. If you guys have any bright ideas, shout them out in chat. I will try to model. If a particular idea has a consensus around it, we can give it a shot. If it doesn't work, no biggie. We'll just toss it. If it works, well, success. Everybody's happy. I'm happy because it's one less idea I had to think of, and you're happy because your idea got in the game. Yes, the Mason will be able to make statues. If you guys notice in our sort of concept screenshot on our Kickstarter page, there is a two giant statues. I'm sick for newbies who just joined. I'm sick, but it can't stop the stream, can't stop the game. So yeah, so the Mason will be able to make statues. First little ones and then bigger ones, and then really epic ones. It'll be cool. Oh, Steve, let's go for, hi Steve. Shout out ideas for, I guess, ancient, ruined set pieces that I can add into the world to make the world more interesting to look at, to give you kind of things to discover, and to sort of beef out the lore of the game, which I am not going to tell you on stream. You're going to have to find it out by playing the game. We do have a lore. We haven't invested a whole lot in it, but Stephanie's come up with this pretty neat backstory about why everything exists and what's going on. And I'm not going to spill the beans. This turned into like a fountain. It's okay, it can be a fountain. Broken columns, armless statue. That's a little on point. A face fountain. I like that idea. That's a solid idea. In fact, I'm going to turn this thing into something that's more of like, let's do that. Let's make a whole bunch of pieces that could be combined into different kinds of fountains. We're going to put one there. Put one here. Yeah, relic to the Titans. That's the idea. So sort of like a sacrificial thing. So we're going to pick a signature element, and I have to design it first. And then we're going to put it like kind of everywhere on these things. Let's go. Let's go. We need to resize this. Modify. Resize. Resize. There it is. I think I need 2 voxels on an edge. There. Okay. Let's see. Actually, okay. Let's just try it. Can't hurt, right? Let's sketch over here. So I had this idea of like 6, because guess what? A cube has 6 sides, and of course everything in Stone Art references cubes or squares or something like that. So like, if you were to try to do a cube, look like that. So it's kind of a 30 degrees. So it'd go like that, like that, like that. I'm literally sketching with voxels. Crazy? Maybe. So if you had that kind of an element, right, and then you sort of took the interior cube, I don't know, something like that. That's kind of nuts. Not digging that at all. But I like that. Let's try to get that, or a sense of that on these things. Or just anything. I'm sort of working at a very low resolution here. So I'm trying to think of like the same kind of pattern or the same kind of graphical element I can scale up and scale down. And then when you see it in small form, you'll get that it's the same thing. Maybe move this up one. Maybe it's better if it overhangs below, but let's see how it looks. Nope, that's better. All right. You outlived your usefulness. All right, let's see what we got. I was gonna try to like be all fancy and copy that and rotate it, but it's just fast. It's just as fast to model it. Tezoix, the game is Stonehearth. One word, and you can find out more at stonehearth.net. You can find links to all kinds of videos there that describe sort of what the game is and some of the features working on. It's a game that's in early alpha right now. Hark, someone is at the door.
Oh.
It's our IT guy, also known as Doug. He's fixing the internet. Thanks, Doug. Okay, let's do this. I need more room. I need 2 more voxels. Resize. 14, 14. 14, why not? Okay. Because I want to add like these little feet, which I think will be cool. And have them stick up. I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong. I'm just not quite there yet. Maybe they should go in the corners. I'm just going for something that looks kind of like, I guess subconsciously I'm going for something that's a little bit Mayan. You know, it's like, oops. Ancient and ritualistic, but not in a Greek way, not in a Western way. I guess Western European way, whatever. That didn't do it. That's right, we'll keep playing around, we'll get it. That's not horrible. Two. Why is this so up? Needs to be one more there. Yeah, okay. Okay, if I'm going to do that, I need to simplify this thing. There are too many contours going on. Yeah, capo. That's kind of the idea, is that maybe not actual aqueducts, but something like that. Whoops, that didn't work at all. No. Okay, that's not bad. Just making it symmetrical, or the OCD kicks in. Yeah. It's always sort of nuts how many different, how you can make subtle changes at a small scale with voxel modeling. I mean, I have like a 14 by 14 by 14 area here, which is like the size of, smaller than the size of the smallest desktop icon. But because it's 3D and because you can play around with, like, I like that. This is solid. You know, you can play around with the way that the shading works on the different elements and the amount of detail you have and how a flat surface will look different in 3D than like a more textured surface. Like if we just knock that voxel off, it has a huge, right? It's a lot bigger than changing one pixel. It's part of the reason why I like voxel modeling even more than sort of pixel art, even though I like both. Voxel art is just a lot, for me, more interesting. There's got to be an easier way to do this, but I'm almost done. But the only thing I don't like about this thing is I feel like it's staring at me. Maybe that's maybe that's a thing. We can turn that into a thing. Maybe this is like a sort of watcher, ward type thing. I can make it look less like an eye by putting that on, but I like this idea that it's like kind of like, that's the point, is that it's there to watch you. All right, so we got these, and I'm just moving some around because the idea is that these will be interchangeable. Not interchangeable, but like ottomans, I guess, like little pieces of furniture, but you can arrange them in, wow, I really did this in the wrong order. Whatever, doesn't have to be perfect, because we're just modeling. Okay, so if that goes there, then you can imagine this thing, I don't know, going here, right? And so that would be like a little temple. What's it for? I don't know. But someone really thought that whatever is written on this tablet was impressive or important. Oh, it looks like an Octorok. You're right, Drellix. It looks a little bit like an Octorok. That's hilarious. From Zelda. Okay, now let me design a bigger fountain that could go in the middle. I don't want it to be much bigger. Yeah, I do. Maybe I do too. Let's make a decision. These are, I said 14 by 14. Excuse me, but really they're 12 by 12 because they don't, it's tough to see, but the outermost two rows of voxels are unoccupied. So let's make another one that's 16 by 16 by 16. And the idea of this is that this is sort of the central fountain element. Is that big enough? No. 18 by 18 by 18. That's not good. I want to stretch. I am sorry about the cough, guys. Believe me, I'd be happier if I didn't have it. Let's save this before I try to fill that. We're going to go with sh new folder whip for work in progress, new folder ruins, and we'll call this fountains. All right, hold your breath, drum roll. All right, that was easy. Right. Okay, so I want this one to have an element of height to it. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. There. So 6 on the side. 4, 5, 6. Ooh, look at that! I got it right. Okay. You know what? This is kind of reminding me, even though I said that I wanted to go Central American, not Greek. It's kind of reminding me of Trafalgar Square. If any of you guys have seen, you've probably seen a picture of it. Google it. Starts with a T, Trafalgar Square. So we're gonna have to be careful not to make this thing look all Roman, because now that I've said it, I can't get it out of my head. Is the outline line the hitbox, so to speak? Oh, no, it's not the hitbox. Well, yes and no. So this is just an editing program. It's a third-party editing program called Cubicle Constructor. It's a really great voxel modeling tool. You should check it out. The box, so I have, the box is basically the bounding box of all the different models that I'm working on. It doesn't have any impact in game because, of course, this is just an editing tool. If we make some decent progress, I can put these down in game and you can see them, but they'll look like pretty much the same. The only difference is they'll be lit from our sort of environment lighting, which is a little bit yellow, so the colors will be a tiny bit different. But because, of course, our lighting is supposed to be sunlight. Okay. So let's come in here, make sure we get the right row. It's going to be the top row right there. Fill it. Fill that. Oh, did I mess this up? It should be 3, 3, 3, 3. This is 4. No, or it was 2. Okay, knock off some corners. So just age it. Whoa. Large solar disks. Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's see. All right, first of all, this thing needs sort of a similar base element to my Octorock fountains. So I need more voxels, base size. 20 by 20 by 20. And let's come here. I'm going to try not to have them stick out too far, which is why I only went one voxel on each side. It's tricky, it's tricky, it's tricky, and I'm not, of course, doing the whole thing until I see how it looks on one edge. Let's see, that's 3, so that's 3. Does that work? It works. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it kind of works. Here, get out of the way, Octorock. Oh, you guys want to know how combat will work? I can tell you. We're almost ready to work on combat controls. And I will give you our straw man proposal. It's not a straw man because the straw man is something that's designed to be knocked down, but our temporary, it's not temporary either, our initial take at combat controls. I can just tell you. You want to know? Is the blue voxel water going to be placeholder until you have water-like material added? Yes, that is the idea. That is exactly the idea. Eventually we want actual water. We'll get to water probably after mining is put to bed. But just so that we can, you know, for now, why not? Let's add kind of a watery element just by having blue voxels. They won't be able to harvest the water or anything. It's just part of the model. But hey, this is going in an okay direction. You know, but it lets us get, I guess, a nod in that direction. It's not horrible. Just trying to make that stand out a bit. Yeah, right. Okay. Better. I like that so much, I'm going to put it on the other sides too. Oh, right, I was going to tell you how combat is going to work. I don't have to, because Mergen got it exactly right, which shouldn't be, I guess, a big surprise. Other games do the same thing. Other games that we were heavily inspired by, like Dwarf Fortress. So, okay, I'll just talk about combat for a little while. What we don't want is micromanagement, because we tried it once. Well, first we said, hey, we're not going to have micromanagement in the game. This is story time. Digression. We said, this is just not a game about micromanaging stuff. It's more a game about orchestrating what you want to happen, making plans, and then watching your little guys do those plans and then adjusting the plans, not the actual little guys. So it's not a game about micromanagement. We were like, yes, it's not a game about micromanagement. And then we made the Trapper. And we're like, well, wouldn't it be cool if you could like micromanage the Trapper? And so we did that as an experiment, and you literally had to like tell a little dude where to walk, and direct him like, hey, put a trap down here, and then it was very almost MMO-y. And that didn't work out at all. And so it just sort of revalidated our original decision. It was annoying. It was like you had to babysit him. He felt like, we thought it would feel like fun and empowering to like command a little unit, and he would be special, and you'd be like, oh, I can command this special little guy. But he just felt dumb because all your other guys would, you know, do what you wanted without you having to like click on them every 30 seconds, and the Trapper would just sit around, what do you want me to do? So that felt really bad. Right. So that's a very long way of saying we don't want you micromanaging troops in the same way that you would in like a StarCraft. It's just not that, or an Age of Empires. It's not that kind of game. So we're going to give you like enough control where you can like orchestrate. That's the key word. You can imagine like you're like the general in like, I don't know, the Civil War or medieval times, since we're in that general time area, fantasy. So you can like organize your troops, and you can tell them kind of roughly what to do, and then they'll go like enact your plans. And if your plans were bad, well, bad things are going to happen. If your plans were good, you're gonna do well. So you'll be able to organize units into squads, and then you'll be able to give squads what we're calling standing orders. So that's like, basically you can say, hey, Squad A, your job is to monitor these stockpiles and these other things, and Squad B and C, you guys are patrolling, not patrolling, but you guard like these entrances to my town. And then let's see what else. So then when like it hits the fan and you know you're being invaded or something, you'll be able to dynamically issue high-level orders to those squads, like Squad A, attack here, or Squad A, retreat, or everybody in the town run to a safe zone. And that'll be that. I hope that makes sense, the way I described it. So basically, high-level orders, and if you want to get like really, really spammy with it, I guess you could kind of simulate like a poor man's RTS style control, and we can't really stop you. Like, we don't want to do something abusive, like limit the number of orders you can make every minute or something. That would be stupid. But the idea is that if we do a good job in your ability to place what we call the standing orders, then you'll be okay most of the time, and you'll only have to like make changes when something unforeseen happens. Like, oh, I didn't notice like I have a hole in my wall in the back, and now zombies are flooding in back there, so I need to make a change. So that's at a high level. We haven't actually started working on that yet. We're stuck on... Is this too much detail? There's a lot going on here. Maybe not. Oh, wow. I missed the obvious answer here. I was too busy talking about combat. We'll start to work on combat roughly... I don't know. After mining. Mining is kind of a bear. You can see from the last Desktop Tuesday video that it's coming along, but there's a lot to it and a lot that we still have to do, and it's such an awesome feature. We just want to like knock it out, and then once mining's in, we can focus on things like the stuff I'm working on now, adding set pieces to the world, and fleshing out the combat system, and then we will be in pretty good shape. Too thick. Or at least this needs to be wider if you want to see the fountain. The waterfall. Alright, I'm kind of digging the color palette that I have going here, because it is a different palette from what is in the game now, which is absolutely a requirement. We've got enough green and brown in the game. We need some new colors. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Huh. Roman dude, no, you will not be able to order everyone to have a wicked dance party. That is a hilarious idea. We actually are thinking of ways to have wicked dance parties, but it won't be as simple as you order everyone to have a dance party. Basically, we want to reward you for doing things particularly well. Like, if you farm really, really well, then maybe you're... In fact, this is one of our stretch goals. Your villagers will, like, not just farm, but if you have an awesome food supply, your villagers will throw a festival. And the festival will be whatever. They'll make their own little feast and have a dance party. That's not bad. Okay, so now let me get my lighter blue. Which is, no, I don't like that blue. Backman, that's a great idea. Exact same thing, but with magma flowing instead of water. That's fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to get one edge of this. So water going down all four sides might be too much. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to experiment. No, I'm not. But I have a copy of that saved away now. And let's save the file. That's not bad. Right. I'm not sure if I like these side pieces or not, or if I want the whole thing. Copy, paste, flip it. Which axis is that? Is it the Y? Nope. I always mess this up. Now, is that good or bad? I can very easily see the water going on all four sides. I think that's... yeah, I'm going to do that. Because I'm not a fan at all of... There's just too much going on with this stuff. Maybe if it was another color. What if it was like kind of an enameled red or something? That's not gonna work. Maybe. What if it was gold? I know that's not gold. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Let's keep going. Whoa. No. Oops. Is this too much? Is it too modern? Not modern, but like, if this was a ruin, whatever this is would have been scraped off a long time ago. If it was like topaz, not topaz. What's the stuff made of clay? I can't remember, the word is escaping me. Well, if it was like painted on or something, it would be like, column needs to be a miniature worker. Huh. That's a little too Greek. It's a good idea, just not for this kind of more shamanistic, ritualistic deal I'm going for. I'm gonna just try lopping off. So I mean, the standard answer for this column would be to like make it like a column or something like that, or make it like an obelisk. I'm gonna try going for something that's a little bit more I don't know, for lack of a better word, arcane, like different, where it's like, I don't know what this is, but it's kind of foreign. This is not working. There's too much going on here. Yeah, I think these are ultimately unsuccessful. I think the simplicity of having it just found all the way around, because it's already pretty ornate. Here's what we're gonna do. Nuke that. Oh, I can rotate. Of course I can rotate. Duh. Alright. Take that much of it. Copy, paste. Rotate it about. I know this is the y-axis. That way. Did I get it right? I think I got it right. I did. I am so smart. Wait, parts of it are missing. I didn't grab enough. All right, now come here, make that, copy paste. That I know is the x-axis because that's the one I do all the time. Yeah, a humming obelisk, something like that, Mergen, something, you know. And there'll be another pass once these get in the game where I can add like effects, like maybe like a little bit of shimmer, not a shimmer, but like a little bubbling of the water. Does it make sense that these are still working? Maybe not, but it's cool that way. Okay, that's pretty ornate. That's not bad. That's about as much as you'd want to add. Anything more and it's going to get like nuts. Well, I'm talking about, like, I'm looking at the outer edge and sort of this part. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I think there's a bug where you can't, but sorry, that's the case. All right, so these all have these Octorok elements, not Octorok, I gotta stop saying that. Even though it's totally true, that's what they look like. Sort of eye elements, and so I'm going to try to add, it's tough to see, but bear with me here. Oh, I was going to add that same element on top, almost like an eye to heaven or something, but that might be better. There, yeah, simple. Easy. Okay. Now let's do anything at all to break up this big form. I like that I've only used 3 grays, and I don't want to introduce another gray, but I may have to, because this needs to be very subtle. Oops, that was not subtle at all. Yeah. Alright, I'm about done with this fountain set. What's next? Shout out your idea. Have a dry model, later activate it with the flowing model. That's a great idea, Greaster. Mysterious artifacts. What's an artifact? An artifact could be anything. What am I modeling? I'm modeling set pieces. Set pieces. Okay, you're dead. You're dead. To sort of give the world just a little bit more visual interest. Right now, the only thing out there are bushes and trees. So the idea for this stuff that I'm modeling now is that we'll sprinkle it throughout the land, and you'll be able to discover it and at least look at it, or try to divine the reasoning for it being in the world at all. A crypt, a large sun medallion. A broken stone archway. That's a good one. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to start with my door. Save. Empties. Construction. Wooden door. Let's make it a double door. Start with the double door. Alright. Go back here. Whoa. I didn't know it was so big. Okay, doesn't need to be that big. Yeah, the reason why is because we needed all the voxels for the door handles and such. Mossy variants. Okay, now we need to make a list. If I could spell. We're making a list. What's on our list? First, let's set the font size. Format, font. We're making a arch. We're making a broken arch. And then later, more set pieces for the arch and broken arch. Like you can imagine, like, what else? Dried fountain and mossy fountain. Those are all good variants. Anybody else? Small carved artifacts. Yeah, carved stuff is good. You want to know about water? Okay, so that's great. So we're going to start with the arch. The arch. But actually, I feel like this gives me a good starting point for the arch. Okay, tablet goes here. All right, and obviously this is going to be at a different scale. The nice thing is the scale that I model at is not at all related to the scale that it goes in game. We can scale up and scale down. Let's see. This may, yep, haywire. Let's see what we got. To the Google. Sorry about the cough, guys. Really. What was I going to Google? Oh, yeah. An ancient arch. Easy. all this is very helpful. I like this palette, this sort of warm, very, very desaturated orange, rosy, red brick. I'm going to author all of my assets in one palette, and then we'll make different colored versions later, as in not now. I'm just like processing all of this. It's all, I mean, it's all Greek and Roman. Not all of it, most of it. All right. Now, here's the thing. There are no circles in Stonehearth, which means corollary. There are no semicircles in Stonehearth. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make an arch that doesn't have semicircles in it. Let's see what we got. About like that. And let's make an arch that does not look exactly like a Greek or Roman arch, because that's no fun. This is a fantasy world. It's all about fantasy. We need more room. Resize. It's still big. You have no idea, Rock Raid. Google image search is like the best thing ever for an artist. I mean, because we draw inspiration from so many places. Of course, in order for your design, anything you're designing, to be like relatable, or that's the wrong order of words. In order for like the player to like understand what the heck it is on the screen, it needs to be relatable. If it's totally foreign, like that's why so many aliens are like, you know, bipedal and have identifiable mouths and things like that, or eyes. So you don't have to, like, you know, well, whatever. So if it needs to be relatable, well, Google image search is just an amazing way to, like, get stuff into your head. It's like, oh, what's the general pattern for something like a stone archway? What are its major components? How are they put together? What's the rough size? From all different references, although I got like mostly Greek and Roman, and I shouldn't be surprised by that. Okay. I'm just trying stuff. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. I know that I want to... So I'm going to make the arch, and then I'll make the broken version. And I know that I want a strong keystone element sort of here. Right, the keystone is the stone that holds up the arch. And I'm not sure if I want it to go that way or the other way. Maybe like that. Okay. It's not horrible. And I want like the tops of this thing to like extend up above the rest, almost like there was a support beam or something. Well, I want to give the top a little bit of visual interest, sort of like I'm imagining that it was built with these two gigantic columns and then a span on top of them that form the arch of the arch. And I want them to be square. Is this square? I'm actually touching the screen, you can't see. That's not square, that's square. So like two enormous columns, and I think like the sheer width of these things will help give it weight. Or not weight, but a sense of, I guess, age. Like the people who made these were like had decent knowledge of construction, but not enough to make these thin, elegant, like skyscraper-y type things. Their arches were massive. Had to be, or they'd fall down, or whatever. Okay. Let's finish the cap here. That. And let's make it a little bigger. And just trying to get a rough shape that I'm happy with. Oops. That's kind of neat. Okay, now come in here. Okay. Knock this off. Down by 1. That might work. I think that's a happy accident that just happened. Yeah. Nope. Okay, I'll highlight the keystone that way, bring this in here. Let's see. I think my keystone has kind of dominated the design a little bit. That's a pretty good idea, low tech. Have stuff out there that the mason can sort of find and add to his craftable set of craftables. That's pretty good. Looks like he finds an artifact, figures out how to make it, and then you can make that thing. I like that idea actually quite a lot. Okay, so now I have this element of a keystone, but it's not like quite so dominant. Maybe drop it down 1. Wow, that's all connected. Amazing. Nope. Let's bring all this stuff a little bit closer. All right, that's roughly, very roughly, the shape I want. So let's take a look at this silhouette. Okay. Look at those. Nope, those were good. The back looks absolutely horrible. It's okay. Fix it when we're happy with everything. All right. Yeah, I got a problem, which is that. Huh. Apparently there's a. I don't want to select everything. I want to select just a contiguous set of voxels. I hit a hotkey or something. I'm frustrated. Alright. Oh, they're not square. Do they have to be square? Really? They don't have to be square. They can be rectangles. Let's see how it goes. Back to the Google. Yeah. Alright. That was very helpful. What I'm missing is... So, I'm trying to get this kind of an element. Alright. Okay. I really don't want this to look like a letter H. Alright. I'm really flip-flopping a lot. Sorry if your eyes are going nuts. No, no, no. This may be too on the nose. Yeah, it probably is. It's all very gothic. Whoa, not Archer. Legolas everywhere. Ponies. I'm not getting there. This is more my speed. Kind of. Too towery, but that's what I googled for. Alright. Let's see. This is not working. I think a vertical element would work better. Yeah. Okay. Alright. With renewed vigor. I tried, didn't work. Okay, this is getting a little bit dwarven, which is not a bad thing. I'm not judging. In fact, it may work out just fine. Okay. So on the plus side, it's definitely looking more fantasy. It's maybe a little too castle-y, so let's knock out this thing that looks like a window. Although that was kind of nice, provided a nice detail, but that's okay, we can do it this way. Way too much. This thing just sticks out too far. Okay, let's true it up. Here, copy paste, put on the Y. Nope, put on the Z. Nope. Wait a minute. Copy paste. It's on the, oh, let's rotate. Mirror on the Z. Let's rotate again. That's a big arch. I should have done this before. Too late now. That's not bad. It needs, so up until this point I've only been thinking about silhouette and sort of rough values. Now we need to actually add the required detail to make it actually like a thing. Baking in some shadows. Let's see what else. I'm not going to age it yet. Maybe I should, but I'm not going to. Just because once I do that, it's kind of a destructive op, right? Do that, just to bring that element out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to age it. Make a copy, start chipping away, chipping away. And I'm actually going to put some moss on this puppy, just to give it a little something extra. Well, not a little something extra, like a little something, like it needs help. Wow, it's really interesting. What happened to my light? Because this looks really flat. See, there's depth there, but I can't see it. Is it because my light is jacked up? Let's see. Settings, global light. No. That can't be right. That's usually how I set the light. I wonder if it's because the colors I'm using are just that pathological. No, it's just wrong. Like, some faces just are not rendering. Wait, is that true? No, it's not true. Okay, it's the grays that I'm using. That's really distracting. It's hard not to it's hard to ignore it. Let me undo this just for a little while. It won't look like that in game because we'll have a different color light. Maybe I should change my global lighting. No, that's a bad idea. Rubble underneath it. That's a good idea. First, let's add some moss. And the color palette I'm using is like not horribly interesting, but I want something that's like really neutral, and it's something that can easily change if I'm not happy with it, so I'm not going to obsess about it yet. Let's moss it up. I like that moss, but I need something that's even more subtle. Something that's almost the same value, just as a base, right? Doink, doink, doink. So this will help cement it to the terrain. Toss a carving on the sides, great idea. Great idea. Right, now we can kind of do this stuff. Right, just let's moss it up. Right, right. Okay. Wow, it's really kind of a problem then. Oh no, it's probably not a problem. Let's look at those carvings. Alright, so I'm going to do it this way. I can't believe I'm obsessing that much about a rune. Because, well, you know, it's kind of weird. Like, it's very possible to make things that don't look like credible runes. Just like, kind of unbelievable. Like that. That's not a credible rune. That's not a credible rune either. Somehow that is. Trick I learned. Push it in one. Fill it with the color you want. That's neat. But now I need to unweather that because it's just too much going on. Right? Now you can imagine these like lighting up or something. When, I don't know, it's the solstice. Okay, other side. Pick a color, doesn't matter what color. Doink, 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 doink. What does it say? What does it say? I know. I actually do have something in mind, but I can't tell you. Because the other team, or the team, not the other team, will absolutely destroy me if I leak the lore. So. Oops. Move. Move. Fill. Fill. Whoever had that idea of adding these carvings, good call. Right, gives it a nice strong element. Something. It's like what's going on there? I really want to know. Please tell me more. Whoever has spent all that time to carve those runes into that arch really meant business. Alright, that's not horrible. Yeah, not horrible. I'm not sure if I need these anymore. Yeah, I don't. And not having them just draws your eye more towards the carvings. Awesome. Weather, weather, weather. Okay, so save. Yeah, low tech. That's exactly the idea. The world right now is super. Well, okay. So we've been working on like features. So I'm not judging. Who would I judge? Myself. That's funny. We've been caught up in making the world functional, which is very important. And now I'm going to start spending a little bit of my time making the world like more interesting. And then a little bit will turn into a lot as the game gets in better shape. It's still not a horribly interesting palette, but it's not designed to be interesting. It's designed to show value. We'll get colorized versions later. Where would moss grow? Moss would not grow on the bottom edge here. It would grow on the top, right? Yeah. It's so funny. You gotta think about these things. Where would the moss actually grow? Otherwise, it looks off. And you're like, I'm not sure why that's off, but that just doesn't look right. And actually, if we really want to make this thing, we can go over the top with the moss. Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Let's really go nuts with the moss. To the point where, like, yeah. Oops. Add. Do I have a selection? Add. Brush. Oh, I'm at the edge. Bummer. Well, you can make it wider. We can make it wider, we can make it taller. We can do all kinds of stuff. So that is obscene levels of mossage, but I think it works. Right? It's old. It's really old. Yeah, Backman, me too. We're working on it, man. We're working on it every day. We'll get there. We'll get there. We just need to keep plugging away. This is almost jungly, which isn't necessarily bad. In fact, maybe it's not bad at all. I mean, I could see this in the middle of a forest. It's not super jungly. Growing on it, flowers and rose bushes and stuff. David, I'm gonna not do that. I could see flowers growing on its base. I don't want to put the flowers on it because every time you'll see it, you'd see the same flowers, and it would just like, it's too specific. Like, you're not likely to memorize the moss patterns on it, but if there's like a particular rose pattern or something, you'll be like, ah, that's the rose arch, and it just sort of takes you out of it. All right. All right. Since this is all carved up, it's only natural that we do something like that. Put some kind of carving on the front, even if it's just like a graphical element. If I do that, I don't need that. look, you guys need to go away. You've been fired. So because I added all that moss and stuff, I can't do my flippy symmetry tricks, which is fine. One, two, three, four there. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Good. And let's 1, 2, 1, 2. We didn't screw this up too badly. I like it. It's the pet dragon with goggles. Pet dragon with goggles is still a thing. It'll get in the game. What time is it? 10:30. So I have a hard cap in 90 minutes. That's not to say I will keep going for 90 minutes, but I will go at the most 90 minutes more. You know what? All this stuff goes together. I'm kind of digging it. I feel like I want to add moss to all these now, but I'm not going to yet. Give the stone arch goggles. Reminds me of the Kickstarter days. Right. I like that arch. I'm proud of you guys. And me, because we both came up with the arch together. Arch is done. You love our high-tech product or feature planning software. All right, broken arch. Let's break this thing. First, let's save this thing. Save. This is not voxel shop. This is cubicle constructor with a Q. Let's see what we got. We're gonna break this arch, right? Now, how do we break it? Well, okay. I think it's pretty obvious. Which column do you guys like better, left or right? Oh, Backman, yeah. So Backman asks when will we be able to remove things entirely from the world? Soon. I don't know. Maybe Alpha 8. We want to add a command that's like the harvest command, but instead of harvest, it's like permanently uproot this thing, just nuke it, so you'll be able to remove like things like berry bushes and flowers and silkweed. You guys like the left one? All right, then the right one's got to go. It's got to go. All right, boom. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Okay. Now which one of these are, you're dead, don't need the door anymore, don't need that. Alright, so we'll take this, push it back, so we can look at this thing better. We'll probably call it demolish, sorry, calling the command nuke is breaks the mood. You guys got mad at me. In fact, the people in the office, the other guys on Team Radiant, got mad at me too when I made the road icon like a modern road with like asphalt and stuff. It's like, but it looks exactly like a road. Everybody understood immediately that it was the road icon, so I thought it was successful. But I was clearly outnumbered by the entire internet, who informed me that if the road icon looked like that, it was not fantasy. And so I changed it, and now everybody's happy. So I feel like I need like a name for that rule so that I can just invoke it on demand. Like I invoke the GUI anachronism clause, which states that we can have no modern references in the GUI. And then whenever this comes up, I can just say, nope, sorry. I'm invoking the GUI anachronism clause. So I want the idea is that like the center of the arch is like made of like some kind of like, I don't know, rubble or just like some kind of filler material. But the outside of the arch is tiled in brick or something a little bit more something a little bit, well, that at least looks nicer, like a surface material. And so I'm trying to like show that stuff, sort of the exterior shell, as distinguished from the interior material. I think you guys got it anyway, but I just want to make sure I'm being understood. I feel like notches. I need notches. There. That's not bad. Let's bring this up even further. It's like the core of an apple. Or a, I don't know what. There. Yeah. Is that ruined enough? Should we take more out? Let's take out more. More. You know what I got hooked on last night? And they certainly don't need my help to plug their stuff, but it was really cool. Is this war of mine. Very interesting, kind of different take on survival strategy. Cheap on Steam. Check it out. It's a downer of a game. it's not a happy game. But I got sucked into that for many hours with Thanksgiving break. It looks like one column is flipping you off. What? Where? I don't. You mean this one? Like double? It's giving you the bird. With 2 fingers or 2 hands. Cannot unsee. There. Now it has a little bit more structure. Vines? Vines would definitely take it into jungle, and we don't have jungles in the game right now. I can imagine a jungle variant, but imagine this like in the middle of a forest. What is the gun in the back? I see no gun. What gun? There's no gun. Yeah, this War of Mine. Very good game. Check it out. Very good. Mushrooms. Mushrooms? Oh. So this is just one piece. Imagine like lots of pieces surrounding this. So there may be the arch, and then we put like little mushrooms, or mushrooms are good. Or flowers, or whatever we want. Rocks around it. Sickness has a hold of me. Okay, we've got an arch. We've got a broken arch. That's pretty good. We can make more arches, more pieces to go with this, but I feel like actually all this stuff could go together. Like if we were gonna, let's play house for a second. Save it, copy paste, do that, flip it around. Like if it was my job to design like a ruin or something, didn't work. I might do, like literally, say like, and this is the kind of stuff that we'll do eventually. But first we need support, you know. If I was going to design a ruin, and then I would put some skeletons in the ruin that come out at night or something, and a treasure chest in the ruin that you can find. This is not a bogus example. This is actually the kind of stuff that we want to do for you. In Alpha 9, roughly. So don't get super excited. This is not on the horizon, but it's what we're working towards. I might do something like this, right? Just place some stuff. Now let's get this out of the way so it's not distracting your eye, right? And so I've got like, maybe put this over here, right? So we would like, each of these set pieces would be defined as entities in the game, and they'd have their own little behaviors and stuff, and these probably don't do anything, and these have like a little effect of like bubbling water or something. And then we'd slap them in the game, right? And then you'd see this like in the middle of a forest. And then it's like, oh, somebody was here. What happened to them? Why is there a ruin? And then you'd find out, because at night skeletons would pop out or something. And then your job would be to like cleanse the ruin, either just by, maybe like there's like a sinister obelisk that is the source of the skeletons. So you knock out the obelisk and then the skeletons don't spawn at night anymore. You want to do that, put all that stuff in the world times like, I don't know, 50, 100, 200. It's sort of a number that creeps up generally. That is the goal. That is what we will work on after mining is put to bed. And mining, hopefully, well, no, definitely, part of mining will come in Alpha 7, and then the rest of mining, another big chunk of mining will come in Alpha 8. This voxel painting program is Cubicle Constructor with a Q. Thanks, Roman dude. Hey, this is pretty good. Like we made some fountain pieces which go together. We made an arch. Took a while, but we got it, and they go together. Like the fountain set and the arch set, they work together well. So I'm not doing bad for an invalid. Well, okay. Play the world's tiniest violin. Multi-story buildings. That's a good question. I feel like building is in a pretty good place right now. Multi-story buildings would be awesome, but we want to get archaeology class. We want to get world content like this stuff and fleshing out the goblins, making them more than little guys that just randomly pop out of nowhere and invade your town. In combat, we want to get all that stuff in much better shape. And then maybe we'll revisit buildings. So the short answer is multi-story buildings, not soon. But we will not forget about multi-story buildings. Ant. Ha ha ha. You saw the ant. You found the ant, huh? Ditas, yes. If you see an ant, it's probably aggressive, and you did something to really piss it off and have it come at you. So that's the answer on ants. Ants don't show up. Ants don't just sort of wander around unless they've got like something that has awoken them and caused them to be really, really angry. And it's probably you. It's probably you. It's probably your fault. So just don't do that. Just don't do that thing that you're doing that's making them really mad at you, and you'll be fine. I modeled the ant about 2 months ago. But we're a long way from, I won't say a long way, but no, fine. We're a long way from having Titans in the game. 6 months from now, talk to me about Titans. Yeah, you found the antlings too? Great. I should stop putting things in the shipping version of the game before they're ready to like actually work. Alright, let's go back to our product management list. Broken arch, done. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Dried fountain. Okay, dried fountain. We can do this. We can do it. Alright, I don't need this arrangement of fountains anymore. Well, it's kind of cute, so let's keep it. No, let's not. There's too much stuff. Okay, that's good. I'm putting my finished set pieces in the back. That's a finished set piece. And then, like, eventually, not eventually, but when this stuff is ready to go in the game, I'll split them each into their own files. But for now, this is just a scratch pad in the place where I can see everything. Look, they all go together. Because we were restrained on our palette, and you could imagine, like, a recolored version of these that are, like, more, you know, that super pale brick color that we were looking at on Google earlier. Yeah. Delete the blue voxels and we're done. Give me, like, let's see if it actually is that easy. It's that easy. Excuse me. I'm so sad. Okay, but we're not done, because if water was flowing through these channels, and now it's not, I really feel like there would be like, alright, back to the Google, because my intuition is that there'd be like moss and algae all over the place. But let's see what the Google says. Oh, by the way, I think this is Trafalgar Square. No, it's not. It's totally not. Is that Trafalgar Square? Oh, the Trevi Fountain. God, I've been saying the wrong thing the whole time. I was thinking the Trevi Fountain, which is in Trafalgar Square. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm totally wrong on this. Well, that's just kind of like a imockery.com. That's not very nice. This is kind of what I was thinking, but I'm not sure if that's like, yeah, okay, there we go. View image, something like that. It's more of a brown. Kind of a brown, almost like, there was algae, but then it died because there's no water anymore. Calcium buildup. Hard water deposits. Alright, let's grab that and that. I'm just using that as a placeholder for my colors because I'm lazy. Gotta pick the right color. Boom. Is that the right? No, it's not right. It's too different. I want something that's almost the exact same value. Super desaturated. Nope. A little darker. A little browner. A little darker. A little darker. There. Is that it? It might be. I think it might be it. Let's go to shot. And I'm going to do a quarter of this, and then I'm going to flip it, and we'll be done. See, my inside edge here got jacked up. See, it wasn't as simple as deleting the blue voxels. This is hard work, man. Hard work. I'm dying. I actually have an inhaler. I'm trying not to like puff on that thing because I have limited charges. I'm supposed to only use it in case of emergency. hotkeys. Burn your hotkeys. Makes your life so much easier. What was I doing? Yeah, I got turned around. I only need to do a quarter of this thing. No, this is good. When I have the dried out version, I will be able to mix and match. Have like maybe most of them dried out and then one that's working. Right? And for Diablo, you click the one that's working and loot will pop out, but this is not Diablo. That's not bad. Now I need a darker version of the same color just to contrast it. Darker, 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 browner, browner, browner. Less saturated, a little darker, a little lighter. There. Now just put some stuff at the bottom. Crud. What's that? That's at the bottom of the fountain. Why? It's crud. And maybe crud around the edge. That looks sufficiently disgusting. I don't think this works. It interferes with the, what I'll do is I'll add that, oops. And then take this up. Like the crud has found a nice channel through which to propagate itself. There. Yeah, that works. Yeah, fan bus. Voxel modeling is fun, very rewarding. It doesn't require a whole lot of technical skill. Like learning a 3D modeling program is tough. I mean, let's just tell it like it is. It's tough to learn like Maya or 3ds Max. You know, it can be done. Of course it can be done, but it's a tall order. Voxel modeling is just a lot easier to sort of, I guess, you know, if you just want to like express yourself in 3D, it's a much more convenient medium. Now, if you want to get into 3D modeling, don't let my "it's tough" speech discourage you, because I know some amazing 3D modelers who can do like really, really, really cool stuff. And anything is learnable if you want to, you know, if you really want to put your mind to it and get it done. But if you just want to think around, or if you're just getting started in modeling, and voxel modeling is a great way to get your ideas down quickly. So you can experiment with, like, you know, how to pick the right colors, how to have an idea and execute on it. Sort of like what we're doing here. Like, we had an idea. We want to make a bunch of ruined set pieces. And there were a lot of creative decisions we had to make that happen. Some didn't work, and then we tried other ones, and those worked. Right? So just going through that process is like fun and rewarding. And if you do it with voxels, you can get going a lot faster. And then, you know, 3D modeling is your thing, graduate to something a little more complicated. Okay. I inverted that from a normal model intentionally. Just the watercolors. So my crud colors are like different, almost like it's going down. Let's compare this to this. Does it work? I think it works. Okay, now let's add our moss. Our traditional moss. First, moss on top. we don't want to go overboard with this because we already have, in fact, I've already gone overboard with this. Like we already have sort of our weathered elements, which is the crud. If we put too much on it, you'll just see the crud and you won't see the fountain. So we want to have a really light touch. That's what we do here. Like just enough to age it a little. And I mean a little. See, even that breaks up that sharp square edge, which I really like about the fountain. So let's just try to age it by taking these elements higher. Yeah, I think that does a better job. All right, there's one. Let's do the next one. Easy. All right, there's the second one. That one really was easy. Same story here. Just a little bit of the moss. And actually, let's I lost track of what I was saying. Let's add some nicks to it. Yeah, this really breaks up my super nice. You know, this edge, this bright edge on the top is really important because when you're looking at it like from the top down, it gives you a strong sense of like the top face of this thing as being a box. And I don't want to lose that. So I feel like I'll have more success by putting this moss stuff along the base. Like that. Yeah, like if the bottom's a little cruddy, it's fine. But I don't want to lose that strong square cylinder sense that you get right now. What if we knocked that in? That gives it a little bit more. I like that. Like, see, that's the cool thing about voxels. Like, because I knocked that in, you get a lot of visual interest around like the edge. Like, see that edge, the inner edge, as I turn it? Like, I'm only using two colors. I'm using light gray and dark gray, but because it's lit, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grays, and the interplay of them in sort of the geometric patterns. Super cool. So that's why, like, and that can work against you as well. Like, you'll probably notice the faces of the Stone Harthians, our people, and our goblins are completely flat. Like, literally, their face is like a single plane. Because they wanted the face to look like, whoops, a sprite. And if we added like contours to the face for like the nose and the eye sockets and stuff like that, all the shading on the perpendicular voxel faces would make it look more like sort of this geometric pattern and less like an old school 2D sprite. So, you know, just stuff I've picked up, which is all trial by error for me. Yeah. Okay. Holy cow. We've got like stuff that didn't exist 2 hours ago. That's what I really like about game development is you can see things happening on screen. Those are kind of the same thing. that like didn't exist the day before. Not every day, but some days. And it's cool stuff. It's like, wow, there's new things in the game, and it wasn't there before. So it's easy to get motivated to work. Okay, so that's a good question. Snoopish? How big are these things? This thing is probably about half the size of a person. This thing is probably about the size of a person, so these are the same scale. This thing is way larger. Maybe it's 4 times larger than this fountain. The resolution that we put, the size that we put things in the game, doesn't match always the size that we model them at. One thing that's interesting is there's sort of an ideal, at least for the style that we're going for, there's an ideal voxel density, like how much voxels you use for the level of detail you're going for. Which means that, like, if I model this with a ton and ton of voxels, I can get a lot of detail in like the moss and stuff like that. But it would look less like an old school sprite and more like kind of like a JPEG that got compressed too hard. Oh, 21 Starbucks. Let's see, I'm out of here at noon. Yeah. Let's should we go for a coffee break? Oh, Steve said yes. Thanks, Steve. Blame Steve if you don't like it. Coffee break. Be back in probably like, sorry guys, 20 minutes, and then we'll finish up. Anyway, what I was saying about the voxels is more is not always better when it comes to voxel modeling. You can do a lot with a small number of voxels, and so we'll scale up and scale down. Around 11:25 PST or PDT. I don't know what we're on. Yeah. Why don't you guys have like a vote? So we need to pick one more set piece. Have a vote or something. Maybe Steve, if you want to, you can organize it. And when I get back, we will do whatever set piece you guys vote on. Okay, see you in a bit.
What's the matter with you? $148? What are you doing at 148? What are you doing at